Hey, so what I'm going to share with you today is some tips on how to move furniture around in the shop. I work on a lot of furniture by myself. So usually I'm in my shop by myself, and it can be difficult, as you know. I'm sure a lot of y'all are in the same situation as me. So you get large pieces like this wardrobe, which right now I have laying on a dolly, and that makes it pretty easy to get around. But I can't finish it like this. So when I'm doing my work to it and the finishing, it needs to be standing up. And so when I work by myself, it's kind of a hassle to try and get somebody to help me move stuff around. So I've had to come up with some techniques and stuff to make this a little bit easier to move furniture around. I'm going to show you a pretty cool little trick here to make working on pieces like this and moving them around a lot easier. So what we're going to use are these little three-wheel dollies. They're called tri-dollies. Okay. Now, when I first got these, I've seen these before. You probably have all seen these before. But when I first tried to use them, I didn't like them at all because they really require a perfectly flat surface. And as soon as you hit a surface that's not perfectly flat, one of them pops out, and then the piece, starts to tumble over. So I got really annoyed with them, didn't like them for the longest time. And then I finally got smart and decided that they needed to be attached. Now you have three little rubber pads here. So if you have a lot of weight and you have a perfectly flat surface, you can just set these under the piece. And I think that that's what most of us try to do. However, for me, that didn't work because I have a fairly uneven concrete floor here. So what I've learned is we can just attach them to the bottom of the piece using this center hole. Right, so you have this hole in the center. Now you can purchase these tri-dollies on Amazon. So if you look in the description, you might have to hit the show more tab. Look in the description here below the video, and I'll leave a link there for Amazon so that you can see what these are. You can purchase them there or purchase them anywhere else. But just to show you at least what it is that I'm using, the exact product, just look in the description and there'll be a link to Amazon there. Okay, so let me show you how I go ahead and attach these to make this job a lot easier. So on this particular piece, we have slides that are adjustable. So we can actually spin this glide out. So we can just go ahead and remove this glide all together. And as you'll see, it's just a bolt that goes into a socket. Then what you do is we take this dolly with the hole in the center. We just put this right in the center here and screw it back in. Okay, and just like that, it's attached. And now I'll go ahead and do that on all four legs. Okay, so pretty simple and effective. So now what we have is 12 wheels in order to get this around, and they're on there fairly securely. Now, if a lot of times you're not going to have these two types of sliding glides, you will on a lot of large pieces of furniture, don't get me wrong. But in the situations where you don't, and that's going to happen probably more than not, all you do is just simply take a screw and a washer. Okay, so you slide a little washer over the screw. You want to use a screw, not too large, not too small, right? And you can attach this just using a screw into the bottom of the leg or on the bottom of the piece. And so it's very easily removable, but it doesn't do any damage, and it's not in an area where anybody's going to see it. So you screw these on. That way they will be held in place. You remove the screw when you're done, take them off, and you're good to go. Okay, so on that last piece, it was pretty straightforward putting these on, right? Because we had those adjustable glides on the bottom. Now, a lot of pieces aren't going to have that. So what they're going to have is just these glides with a nail in them, if anything at all. Okay, so what I do here is I'll show you. I remove this and I use an old chisel that I have laying around that I use for this purpose and hammer. And I lay the chisel underneath the glide like this. Never put your hand in front like this. With a chisel, always have a hand back here. And a couple taps, okay? Try and get the chisel right up to the nail and then just pull up like that, all right? And then you take that out like that, okay? So you remove the glide and we can put that on later. So we can set that off in a bag or something for storage. And then what we're gonna use, we have, these are what I have, okay? I have washers, like such, okay? These are actually 5/16 by 1.5 inch. Now this is just what I have. I would really prefer one like this with this size hole, but I don't have these in enough of them. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use wood screws, number 8s by 1 inch. All right, I don't want to use a screw that's too big. So I'm going to take one of these screws. Now here's what the problem I'm going to have is the screw head is smaller than the hole on this particular washer. So I'm going to use a smaller washer because I don't feel like running out to the hardware store just for this. So I'll use a smaller washer to give me a larger head surface, and then I will put that in there, okay? In a perfect world, I'd have a bunch of these washers laying around and then I wouldn't have to do the other step. But you get the point. So if you're going to go out and get washers specifically for this, you know, get one with small enough hole. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to use the hole from the nail. Okay, so we're going to use the hole then from the nail. If you don't use this hole, or if you don't have a nail that you pulled out of here, go ahead and pre-drill a small hole before you put this in. But we're going to use the hole that we already have. We're going to sit that right there, okay? So put through here like we did on the other one. Place it in that hole. Use your screw gun or just a screwdriver. Okay, so there you have it. I'll repeat this 4 times. I'll do 1 on each leg, and that's all I need to do. And I'll just use the screw in place of the adjustable glides like I did in the last one, but the results are the same. Hey, one more thing before we go. It dawned on me after I shot this video that I said I was using a 1-inch screw. And but before you go out and buy yourself 1-inch screws, it depends on the surface that you're screwing it to. So if you recall, the piece that I was doing, the leg fit within the cup. So my wood surface was laying almost right at the metal surface. So it was almost a surface to surface. If you are doing something with a flat surface that doesn't have legs on it, for instance, and it's going to be going right on that flat surface, right like that, you're going to need a longer screw. Okay, so in that situation, you're going to need more like 1 3/4 inch screw. Okay, so where 1 inch worked for me, 1 3/4 inch might be what you need. Okay, so I just wanted to go over that. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you find it useful. You know, as always, subscribe to our channel, like our video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.